Thursday, May 26th. You're listening to Weather with Enthusiasm. A severe thunderstorm outbreak is possible across the Chicago area this afternoon, just like it happened yesterday, especially between the hours of 3 to 6 p.m., says the National Weather Service. That's for the Chicago city and places close to the Chicago city. Areas off to the west and to the north and to the south, the National Weather Service tells us even before 3 o'clock p.m., it's possible to see severe weather. Really, it's possible anywhere, even before 3 p.m., but the chances are highest after 3 p.m. When you head into the South Bend, Indiana area, the chances of seeing severe weather are marginal. It was less than marginal earlier, but the National Weather Service has upped those chances for extended the severe weather risk up north and west than the original area. Chances of seeing a severe weather event within 25 miles from where you are is about 10%. It ranges from 5 to 15% in the northern Indiana area around where the South Bend area is. When you get further south and east, the chances go up to about 20%. And generally speaking, the hazards are 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with moderate hail, along with a couple tornadoes are possible. We also have a tornado watch, which is in effect for another 15 minutes for parts of Florida in that area until 2 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time. I have no idea why the National Weather Service is giving over their times in Central Time when we're dealing with a watch over there. It's being reported in Central Time, and yesterday also it was Central Time. I don't really understand it. I thought they were on the East Coast time zone. I don't know what's going on with that. In any case, moving off to the West Coast, to the Southwest, actually, we have very hot temperatures occurring in Phoenix, Arizona. Death Valley, California is 10 degrees hotter, as it usually is, than Phoenix, Arizona. High temperatures going up to 115 degrees today in Death Valley, California. Thank you, crowd, for that. We have temperatures going up to 108 for the coolest day for the next 3 days. That's going to be on Saturday for Death Valley, California. Then the heat really basically turns off. Temperatures actually drop below normal for a number of locations by Monday. Phoenix, Arizona will have 3 days of triple-digit heat. Saturday is questionable, however, but today and tomorrow temperatures rise above 105 in Phoenix, Arizona. Temperatures are hot in Boise, Idaho today. High temperatures are forecasted to go into the low 90s. Cold front moves through, bringing much cooler weather into the area for tomorrow and especially on Saturday. Tuesday is going to be a phenomenal temperature contrast in the state of North Dakota, as high temperatures are in the 40s. For real, the 40s in northwest North Dakota. This is within the 5-day forecast cycle. Northwest North Dakota will see high temperatures in the mid-40s, not even upper 40s, mid-40s. And southeast North Dakota continues to have highs in the 80s, the low 80s. The real heat for there comes on Monday. Before Tuesday, Monday, you have high temperatures going into the upper 80s. The East Coast, we have a warm front that's moving through parts of the East Coast today. New York City, Baltimore, Maryland especially warm, and an increase in dew points, increase in humidity for today. A severe thunderstorm outbreak is very possible tomorrow evening. I think for some reason, I'm thinking it might even be, it's tomorrow evening. Tomorrow evening, a very serious severe weather outbreak is possible in the Washington, D.C., Baltimore area as a front. We can call it a cold front because the dew points will be lower once the front moves through. The temperatures really won't be lower, but it's possible that we might lose some of the summery feel over the weekend on Saturday and on Sunday, but the heat and humidity return for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably Thursday as well, before a cold front moves through later on the day on Thursday. Moving up to the Massachusetts area, that was a hot topic in the previous podcast where we saw the European computer model forecasting a high of 100 degrees Thursday afternoon, and forecasters were taking that with either a grain of salt or I don't know what they were doing with that. When forecasting, the general forecasts are highs in the 80s. The GFS model has temperatures dropping lower than that. It looks like right now, so there is a cold front that's moving through the Midwest and then the East Coast by Friday. Now, the story from Massachusetts is we have that building ridge of high pressure bringing warm and humid conditions, perhaps even hot and humid conditions. Temperatures might even go into the 90s as early as Monday, continuing through Thursday. It's a 4-day heat wave, basically, for the Midwest and the East Coast. The Midwest, it goes from Sunday through Wednesday, possibly Thursday. The East Coast, you have it Monday through Thursday, probably not Friday. But the Boston, Massachusetts area, those places might see a backdoor cold front coming off the ocean on Tuesday or Wednesday, perhaps both of those days. But I think the heat builds back into the area Thursday with no backdoor cold front, and then the real cold front comes through later on Thursday or perhaps even Friday. Temperatures are likely going to go into the 90s, at least at some point during those 4 days, and nobody's talking about 100-degree heat right now. I don't know if there ever was anybody talking about it except for that European computer model. So we have the Baltimore area temperatures. Now, here's the story for the East Coast. Again, temperatures, basically whatever the story is for Massachusetts, it's the same story for the rest of the East Coast from the mid-Atlantic area going northward, with the exception of the backdoor cold front. So you're going to have temperatures are going to be warm and humid with highs in the upper 80s to near 90 degrees Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But in Baltimore, perhaps Washington, D.C. as well, we have downslope winds, which are likely to blow off of that mountain range just to the west of there. Temperatures, you could up those temperatures a little bit for the Baltimore area. Temperatures going into the mid-90s for Baltimore. We're going to see dew points. The National Weather Service is informing us that we're going to have dew points in the mid-60s. Okay, we'll take it. Mid-60s, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. So heat indices would be in the upper 90s, and peak heat index, upper 90s, maybe 100, but probably upper 90s. Now, we go into the Midwest, and the humidity is going to skyrocket in the Midwest, much higher madriga, much higher level than the East Coast. This is due to the soil moisture. It's the combination of the wind coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. This is a flow coming in off the Gulf of Mexico. We can't blame the cornfields right now, but it's the soil moisture, a really high soil moisture when you get into Missouri. It's the state of Missouri that's really experiencing a ton of soil moisture. In fact, a lot of that state is at full capacity right now, and that's really going to up the dew points. Healthy soil reduces the greenhouse gases by an enormous amount, and it needs to be part of any climate change, a comprehensive plan that will actually work. The soil might even be the most significant ingredient in all of this. And by the way, just want to point out that it's been mentioned before that the climate change is having a very minimal impact. Climate change is barely occurring in the Midwest, meaning it really isn't occurring. Temperatures are barely going up in the Midwest, and a lot of whatever the temperatures have gone up, 0.4 of a degree within however many years, it's nothing compared to what's going on the East Coast and the West Coast. That could be blamed really on the heat island effect, the urban heat island effect. You could blame it on that. But in addition, whatever climate change has occurred has been a help to the corn crop. It happens to be we have a lot of soil over here in the Midwest, and that could maybe explain why there has been very little climate change here in the Midwest. And also, with this soil moisture business, we have perhaps a defense for the small minority of people that do not believe that cornfields enhance the humidity, which I don't understand how you can't believe that. But here we are witnessing, over the past few weeks, we're witnessing a drastic rise in dew points occurring in the middle of the country, next to no body of water. There's nothing. You have the Mississippi River, but that's a nothing. You have no Great Lakes, you have nothing in Missouri, and you're seeing drastic dew point rises in the Columbia, Missouri area, Hannibal, Missouri, St. Louis, Missouri. That whole area, we're seeing really very high dew points when we get these hot air masses. When winds come from the southwest and the south, we're seeing dew points soar into the 70s. It's even higher than what it is in Louisiana. If you look at the soil moisture in Louisiana, it's less than 50%. The same is true here in the Chicago area. So, but nonetheless, next week, all these places are expected. I don't know about Louisiana, but in Missouri, I would assume Louisiana too, but in Missouri, probably Arkansas as well. But Missouri northward, any area which is getting a wind from the state of Missouri will be experiencing 70-degree dew points. Probably other places as well. Probably places close to the Gulf of Mexico. But the water temperatures are still relatively low over there. You still have water temperatures in the low 80s at best. So you could still pull off some dew points in the low 70s, especially when you hit Galveston, Texas, or Corpus Christi, Texas, those areas. But when you get to the East Coast, those dew points drop. So you get into the Baltimore, you get east of the Appalachian Mountains, dew points, unless they're coming in off the Atlantic Ocean, you might have, at some points, dew points will be going into the low 70s or every now and then. But generally, we're talking about dew points in the mid-60s, especially during the peak heating. Here in the Midwest, we'll have high temperatures from the mid-80s to the low 90s for several days next week, with high humidity as well. The temperatures will be warmer in places which have lower dew points. Severe thunderstorm risk for today in Cincinnati, Ohio. All of this is moving to the East Coast for tomorrow. We have severe thunderstorm risk really covers a large part of this country, just like it did yesterday. We had tornadoes which hit Michigan and all the way down south as well by the Gulf Coast states. So it really covers the full span of this country. We have a severe thunderstorm outbreak which will be taking place on Saturday for North Dakota, South Dakota, those areas, as that low pressure system finally moves off to the northeast. We have the intense heat in Boise, Idaho. It's not actually intense because the dew points are low, but that moves off to the east, affecting the western plains on Friday, and then the eastern plains for Saturday, and then the rest of the Midwest, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Peak heating occurring Monday and beyond. Monday onward, temperatures going into the mid-80s, upper 80s actually. Probably the highs will be in the low 90s at Midway Airport, 89 or 90 at O'Hare Airport. St. Louis, it's probably 90 plus. I would think 90 plus. The European computer model is saying 86. They're saying 86. Well, it's going to be windy. That's one thing that will lower any heat index. The impacts will be lessened by the wind. Anyways, I wish everyone a great day. Amarillo, Texas is still forecasted to get record heat for this Saturday as high temperatures approach 100 degrees. The GFS model is showing, interestingly enough, I was just looking at it and I happened to see this low pressure system, which is off the coast of like Central America, somewhere around there to the west. And you just see a low pressure system totally blow up into a hurricane. That's like on Sunday or Monday, but I don't really have much information about that. And it looks like it's going to quickly weaken if anything does happen. So it's probably just going to be a tropical storm at best. Probably a tropical storm. Or tropical depression, tropical storm. You have at least sustained winds are well over 40 miles per hour, according to both the European computer model and the GFS computer model, I believe. Thank you for listening. I wish everyone a great day and enjoy the Memorial Day weekend.